to be one of the closest Grand Prix finishes could ever happen that we've seen for a long, long time. They're coming up to the hairpin now. This is it. Down into second gear, and Mansell, if he gets it right, can sprint out of the rear wing of Senna's car. Senna moves across. He's keeping Mansell back, and he wins. Mansell won't like that any more than he likes at Brazil, but there is no doubt about the fact that Senna was taking advantage of the fact that he's got a clear circuit in front of him to keep Mansell back.
É a última volta da prova. 5.864 metros para que Ayrton Senna vença mais uma vez na Fórmula 1. Para que ele conquiste sua 33ª vitória. Para que ele possa comemorar ainda com mais gosto. Ergue o punho e comemora no carro Senna. No meio da volta, ergue o punho direito. Ayrton Senna ergue outra vez o braço direito. Ele vem na última volta para comemorar o tricampeonato mundial. Ayrton Senna vem com a McLaren na mão. Aí vem ele na parte mista do circuito. Leva 6 segundos de vantagem para Berger. Vem com todo cuidado, já não vai mais na zebra. Vem descendo para o hairpin. Aí vem Senna. O cockpit começa a ficar pequeno para ele. Ele não cabe mais ali dentro. Aí vem Senna para mais uma bandeirada. Para tentar a 33ª vitória. Berger se aproxima porque Senna diminui o ritmo. Ele sai do hairpin. Vem para contornar o spoon. Mas aí na frente agora. Puxa para a esquerda. Vai para contornar a spoon. Contorna a spoon. A partir daí tome potência. Ele vai para a parte de velocidade. Restam 3 curvas. Berger se aproxima. Aí vem Senna. A McLaren prepara a festa. A Honda prepara a festa. A torcida japonesa prepara a festa. O Brasil prepara a festa de Senna. Aí vem ele. Se aproximando da chicane. Berger na ponta ali atrás. Vem para a vitória Senna. Ayrton Senna. Aí vem ele. Na chicane. Berger se aproxima muito. Berger encosta, ele faz o sinal para Berger. Aí vem Senna, ele faz o sinal. Eu sabia! Senna deixa Berger passar.
Brasil!
Berger vence! Ayrton! Do esporte da velocidade no momento.
1990, Ayrton Senna corre em função de seu adversário. E aí vem ele chegando. Senna vai largar por dentro. Um pouco mais à frente, a primeira curva é tomada à direita. Prost na primeira curva, na primeira fila por fora. Depois a Ferrari de Nigel Mansell, depois a McLaren de Gerhard Berger. Na sequência, Thierry Boutsen e Nelson Piquet são as 3 primeiras filas. Momento de expectativa, sempre superlotado o circuito de Suzuka. Uma paixão muito grande do japonês pelo automobilismo, pela Fórmula 1 e especialmente neste caso pela Honda, a torcida toda pela Honda. Ayrton Senna, Alain Prost, Mansell e Berger. A largada é muito importante. Vai passar a bandeira verde lá atrás. Todos os carros já estão posicionados. Vai pintar a luz vermelha. Chegando os últimos carros. Bandeira verde acionada. Vai pintar a luz vermelha. Sobe o giro dos... O que aconteceu quando o Prost fechou a porta para a Senna na tentativa em 1989? Logo na largada, a não ser que eles determinem a parada e uma nova largada. Se a prova continua ou não, o Reginaldo Leme tem a sua primeira participação.
Bom dia, aliás, boa madrugada, aí o torcedor brasileiro. O pessoal viu que era uma coisa que não se desenhava, quer dizer, não era uma coisa realmente esperada, mas a disputa pela primeira curva era muito importante, todo mundo sabia. Quer dizer, o Prost realmente largou melhor, porque é sabido que aqui no autódromo de Suzuka, a posição em que larga o pole position não é a ideal, é uma parte suja da pista. Quer dizer, o Prost largou muito bem, foi para frente, tomou a ponta. Aí o que pareceu ali foi realmente uma briga pela curva, sem culpa de ninguém. Foi o que pareceu. Vamos ver e o campeonato estaria terminado.
Aí Gerhard Berger deixa a pista também no término da primeira volta. O replay mostrou claramente, o Prost larga melhor. Ayrton Senna não iria nunca entregar esta primeira curva, não iria nunca entregar esta primeira volta. Ele vem por dentro, bota meio carro e Prost fecha a porta em cima de Ayrton Senna. O Senna tinha meio carro, o Prost poderia ter tomado mais cuidado. Ele é que tinha mais a perder. Nigel Mansell passa a ser o líder. Nelson Piquet vem por ali com Roberto Moreno, os outros 2 brasileiros atrás de Nigel Mansell. Depois vem as Williams. A prova segue e seguindo a prova está terminado e Ayrton Senna é bicampeão mundial de Fórmula 1. A exemplo do que aconteceu em 1989. A exemplo do que aconteceu em 1989. Prost bateu com Senna e foi campeão. Agora não precisou nem a primeira volta. E eu não consigo.
Over 70 laps of this 2.7 mile excellent Estoril course. The top marks to the Portuguese for what they did last year and the improvements they've made this year, which include resurfacing the whole of the top straight, which Ayrton Senna in pole position and his colleagues are sitting on now, and you look at the bottom of your picture. The lap record last year put up by Niki Lauda, 1 minute 22.9. That's a speed of 117.2 miles an hour. But Ayrton Senna, in his electrifying pole position lap for this year, which he put up yesterday, was not only considerably faster than Lauda's lap record, but he was also faster than Nelson Piquet's 1984 pole position time. So in spite of the fact that this year the downforce of cars has been reduced because the wings are smaller and the little winglets to the left and right of the big main rear wing are no longer allowed, in spite of that, the cars are already in only the second race of the year going faster than they did at the end of 1984. That just shows you how quickly Formula One developments take place. 26 on the grid. I suspect there's a slight delay while they're getting some of the people who spun off back into their positions on the grid. So Senna in pole position. He was also fastest on Friday's timed practice as well as Saturday's timed practice. He was fastest in one of the two untimed practice, and Elio De Angelis, his teammate, was fastest in the other untimed practice. So the JPS Lotus cars have been fastest in all four practice sessions.
Yes, the Lotus chassis is obviously working very well indeed, and if the track stays damp, I would think that that will work very well for the Lotus, because any question about their fuel consumption will immediately go out of the window. They'll be able to run as much power as they want, because of course obviously when the track's wet the cars don't consume as much fuel. And I really think that a wet race or a damp race would seriously increase their chances, because of course it makes cars more reliable. And the one thing we haven't yet seen from Lotus is full-scale reliability on the McLaren type scale. But of course, when the track's wet, there's less strain on all the mechanical components. You can't give the car as much power, it doesn't corner as hard, and reliability goes up generally for all the cars.
Wet weather then for the start of the Portuguese Grand Prix, and starting from the pit lane, Nigel Mansell, Eddie Cheever and Pierluigi Martini, as up to the starting grid come on the left of your picture for the first time in his career in pole position in his yellow helmet, Ayrton Senna. To the right, the World Championship leader, the winner of Brazil, Alain Prost. Behind Senna is Keke Rosberg. Behind Prost is Elio De Angelis. Behind Rosberg is Alboreto. Behind De Angelis is Derek Warwick. Then behind Alboreto on the left you can just see Niki Lauda, and the blue Carlsberg store is 7th place. It's Andrea De Cesaris. Then it looks like Patrick Tambay. But anyway, those are the first 7. And the Lotuses have never been balanced.
He's dancing gigs all over the place at the moment.
Yes, and Nigel Mansell had a bit of car control problem in Brazil, you will recall. Was pushed off the course yesterday by Riccardo Patrese, but at the end of lap 1, Ayrton Senna is leading. Elio De Angelis is in his spray in 2nd place, and of course with Prost in 3rd position, with Alboreto in 4th place, the man you are looking at, the race leader, 25-year-old Ayrton Senna, has got an enormous advantage, because he's got a clear track in front of him. He can see the course. He hasn't got the spray to fight his way through, and he should be able to break away here. And if he does, he will then be able to turn the boost down, but it's very, very early days to start talking of that. Lap 2 out of 7. Still the masterful Senna, this is only his 2nd season of Grand Prix racing, is leading Elio De Angelis. And everybody, of course, here at Estoril is wondering whether, for the first time in such a long time, anybody is going to be able to see off the Marlborough McLarens, which have now won the last 9 Grand Prix over 1984 and 1985. Peter War and Senna De Angelis were all confident tonight when we had dinner with them, and again this morning after the warm-up. And the real question is reliability. The McLaren, as ever, is beautifully set up. The Lotus team have been working extremely hard on their cars. They're on the wet weather second. Prost coming into the picture in third position. Fourth there in the Ferrari is Michele Alboreto. And Niki Lauda has now moved up into fifth position. So the 2 McLarens and the 2 JPSs are all in the top 6. And all the time, remember that the cool, calm, slightly aloof Ayrton Senna, leading a Grand Prix for the first time, is not letting the pressure get to him at all. An astonishingly calm and collected young man. Dominated practice, and now he is dominating the race. Are we going to see, at this early stage, I ask myself, the first JPS Lotus victory in a Grand Prix since 1982 when Elio De Angelis won in Austria? You're looking at Senna, the race leader, number 12, only his 16th Grand Prix this, and already he's had a pole position for this race. He's had a fastest lap, he's had a second place, he's had 2 third places, he's had a 6th place. Off spins Mauro Baldi in the only Spirit in the race with its turbocharged Hart engine. And Senna comes right up to him. My goodness, that could have been dramatic. You see the yellow flag waving in the background to warn Senna that there's trouble ahead. But had that flag marshal not been prompt, we might have seen Senna hitting Baldi, and that would have been tragic. Order, leading Senna. Second, the man you are looking at, De Angelis. Third, Prost. Fourth, Alboreto. Fifth, Niki Lauda. And Derek Warwick has already been lapped by Ayrton Senna. Derek Warwick in 6th position.
Well, we haven't seen much of Ayrton Senna this afternoon because he's been all on his own, leading the race, and he's driving absolutely immaculately. I can tell you, there we are. He is some 30 seconds clear of the field, and you can bet your life that he's not pushing it hard, because with a 30-second lead, who needs to? And he's stroking it along, he's driving beautifully smoothly, and he really looks, at the moment, having well set up. Now here is Prost.
And Ayrton Senna has been waving as he went past the pits, as Prost did at Monaco. He's waving at the officials to say stop the race. And this is ironic, because Senna complained vociferously, to put it mildly, at Monaco that